مرحبا جميعا.
I would like to welcome you all, the dear speakers in Arabic. Allow me to quickly welcome those who are speaking in English, and then I'll come back to you. Dear attendees, non-Arabic speakers, the opening session and some of the conversations are going to be in Arabic. There is English interpretation available. You can listen to the interpretation by clicking at the global icon, by clicking on the Zoom window. Dear speakers and experts, parliamentarians, dear guests, and officials of the UN, international lawyers, researchers, students in international law, people responsible in civil society organizations, wherever you are. We would like to welcome you to the first conference of Palestine in international law, effectiveness and prospects. We have chosen to have this at the International Day of the Solidarity with Palestinian in cooperation with the Birzeit, the Independence Commission, and what can make this very long occupation still violate a population, most of the people of which are refugees for ages, and those who are still within the green line in Gaza and in different places are still being abused and violated in under different pretexts. Israel have this within a legal framework, and they defend their actions as being within the level the international community, and that the security circumstances are harsh. That's why they're trying to legitimize those violations by giving it a framework of law. In return, the Palestinians officially and also the people have used the international tools, which were not systematic, strategically speaking, to rise and to achieve justice for the Palestinian cause. A lot of people have seen that the international law is not capable of attending anything on the ground because of the violation of the occupation, but others see that it's a very good tool in the hands of the people who have been wronged to achieve justice. That's why we need such a conference, and that's why we need an organization like Law for Palestine, which is trying to accumulate all the experience in regard to the violations and the cases on the ground, and to put those on the international table of discussion to raise the awareness internationally and locally about the international context of Palestinian cause, which is increasing day after day, and they want to achieve this through a big network of lawyers and experts from around the world. Law for Palestine has the forum of the legal lawyers who are interested in the Palestinian cause. It has until now 1,000 members from all around the world. It achieves or it conducts a number of trainings and workshops for the experts, and has a monthly meeting of discussion through the internet where experts and international UN officials speak. At the end of the first season of this forum, which was over a whole year, we end with this conference in a condensed matter. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to say, to welcome you here and you everyone in our conference on this international conference, Palestine and International Law, Effectiveness and Prospects. First, the partners and the organizers will speak. We start with Mr. Mutaz Qafisheh, the head of the or the secretary of the Secretariat for Palestine for Law, and he's also a professor at the International Law in Al Khalil University and a previous official in the Office of UN for Human Rights. Dr. Mutaz. Good morning or good afternoon. I don't know for all the partners, participants in this international conference, which is about Palestine and international law, effectiveness and prospects. First of all, I would like to welcome all the colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, everyone by their name and title. I don't want to forget any of you. I would like to welcome all the people present in this session. The friend Dr. Ammar Dwaik, the head of the Commission of Independent Commission of Human Rights, and Mr. Amouri, also from the University of Birzeit, the head of or the dean of departments of international law, Rawan and a friend of Law for Palestine, Ihsan Adel. Of course, I welcome all those who are in this conference, who are going to join during the day. This is the day, the International Day of Solidarity with Palestinians, and it is the important day for us, and we hope that we are going to convene this conference every year in the future. There's a bit some kind of noise in the background. I don't know if the technical people can take care of those. So again, I would like to welcome everyone here from all around the world. Of course, this is an international conference. Yes, we have the majority from the occupied land and from inside Palestine, but the participants with us are from all around the world, from Europe, from the Arab countries, from North America, Latin America, Australia, from all around the world. But yesterday at night, I was talking to Mr. Ihsan Adel at 3 o'clock at night. I would like to thank him for all his efforts and his team. They have worked for this conference, and he told me that the people who registered officially for this conference were 1,050 people. This shows that most of the people are interested in this issue, and that there's an increased interest in using international law in regard to the Palestinian cause. And we hope that this conference is going to be just the beginning to create the international network to use the international law to defend the Palestinians' rights all around the world with no restrictions, and to establish law for Palestine. It was in parallel with the coronavirus pandemic, which had erased all the limits and restrictions and borders around the world, and that's why it's an opportunity to also reach and outreach all the people who are interested in the Palestinian cause, whether they were Palestinians or not non-Palestinians.
I'm the head of the Board of Trustees of Law for Palestine. I would like to welcome everyone, and I would like to say this is the first of its kind, and this conference includes carefully selected topics, experts, and specialists in the Palestinian cause. The issue of the strategies to deal with this on the academic level and on the other levels. This idea behind law for Palestine, we don't just want academicians or academians. We want also officials to be with us. We want the UN, the international organizations to be part of this, so that we have an international gathering which pushes forward the Palestinian cause. We have a clear target, which is to create the momentum for using the law, international law, especially at this stage of time where we see that we have rapporteurs and that there is a possibility to use the international law in regard to the Palestinian cause more than ever. I end with saying, because I have 5 minutes only, I would like to end with saying thank you to all those who have been part of creating this conference, the team of men and women who have worked so hard to prepare for this conference. Specifically, I would like to thank Mr. Ihsan, Adel. He is the mastermind for behind this organization. I would like to thank him and thank his team. I would like also to thank Mr. Hassan bin Amran um, and the preparation committee. And we don't want to mention them name by name. They have done their best to create this conference. I would like to thank the Independent Commission for Human Rights, Birzeit University. I'd like to thank the audience as well who are attending from Birzeit, Islamic University Gaza, Khalil University, Jerusalem, Al-Azhar, and all the other participants, males and females, the translators, males and females, the facilitators, the head of this session, and I'll go back to you. I'd like to welcome you. And I hope that this is the beginning of these in-depth discussions about how to use international law for Palestinian cause. Thank you very much, Dr. Mutaz Qafisheh, for this speech. Before I move to the next speech, it's also our honor to welcome whomever is watching us through the halls of the universities, Birzeit, Al-Quds University, Islamic University, Al-Azhar University as well. We'd like to thank the administration of those universities for cooperating with us. So we would like also to draw your attention to that. With the beginning of this conference, we have over 400 participants watching, and we expect that the numbers are going to increase in the next hours. Now we move to Mr. Ihsan Adel's word, the organizer and the head of Law for Palestine. He is studying PhD in International Law and Development from the IEE German Institute. I would like to welcome you. Thank you, Muna. My greetings to everyone, the guests, the experts who have honored us with their participation today, the dear people here, the people following us from the universities, from houses, from parliaments, I would like to welcome you all. Ladies and gentlemen, the speakers in this session, and Mr. Ammar Dwaik, the representative of Human Commission for Human Rights, Yaser Amouri, the representative of Birzeit University, Rawan, Dr. Mutaz from Law for Palestine. All the listeners, I would like to welcome you all. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It depends on your time. Dr. Mutaz yesterday was asking me, who is the hero of this conference? And I said, actually, this conference does not have one person who is going to be labeled the hero of the event. This event actually it has so many heroes who have created. I would like to thank them all. A year and a half before, March 2020, Law for Palestine was only an idea and a dream. Why it was an idea? Because looking at the Palestinian cause, legally speaking, shows that this is the most worked on the literature around the world and in the UN and in the NGOs, and it's the cause which has so many areas. We have Arabs inside Jerusalem people and some people in Daffa who have some authority, and some besieged in Al Gaza and some in Beirut in a very systematic complicated Beirut, the issue of the Palestinian embassy, and then the ICC, and then the courts in Europe, America in regard to boycotting, and the goods cases of Israel, and then so many agreements. of the international law. And then we come to the ground, we see, regardless of all this international involvement in this Palestinian cause, we still see that people don't know about this in depth, especially amongst the ones who believe in Palestinian cause. The question was, how can we improve the content and accumulate the experience out of all of this? How can we use all this expansion of this international cause and which is not on as much on the land? How can we put everything together? How can we satisfy the need to establish an international legal organization and work which is directed towards achieving this justice for Palestine? The answer was Law for Palestine. Well, it was a dream because this is a big expanded work in time and place. And because this, what you see in front of you, and this expertise, and this is something which countries shall do, not organizations. Until today, everything we do is volunteering. It's a dream because thinking that doing this without budgets, with individual efforts, although this is very complicated issue and challenging, it seemed to us to be a dream. But today, after a year and a half, you see what you see in front of you, the result of the volunteering work. This, we have an international community with Birzeit Independent Commission. We have 20 experts. We network between all the people around the world. We create and now a revolution, having 3 rapporteurs on the same table. We have over 1,000 who registered amongst some researchers, students, and experts from around the world. When I started a law for Palestine, and I started to communicate with the law teachers and Arabs and non-Arabs, the idea was attractive for them, and now they are also in the board of trustees. When I wanted to start, and I said I needed volunteers to start with me to build, so my teachers, researchers, experts, students came to help. We have 70 volunteers today with us. They are the capital of this work. They are the heart. They are the mind, which is very dynamic. With them, with the people advocate for Palestine everywhere, with the real support for this project, we will change the scene. I would like to welcome you, males and females, in the first conference, Law for Palestine, prospects and effectiveness. Effectiveness is what we are going to learn from the experts today. The prospects are the roadmap and work for us and you, ladies and gentlemen, and for the official institutions interested and individuals who are supportive of Palestine everywhere. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ihsan, Adel. And now we move to the speech of the partners, and we start with Birzeit University, Dr. Yaser Amouri, the international law professor and the previous dean of law and public administration in the same university. Thank you very much. I would like to welcome you, everyone. Good morning and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dear colleagues, all with their title and their name, I would like to welcome you all. It's my pleasure, it's my honor, and on behalf of my colleagues in the Department of Law and Public Administration of Birzeit University, to welcome you all and to thank you for participating in this conference, which is tackling a very important topic, Palestine and international law, effectiveness and prospects. It's my pleasure to work in cooperation with the Law for Palestine organization and the Palestinian Independent Commission for Human Rights. This is a case where we complement each other. The universities that apply, also the active organizations are together in this partnership, which had led to this conference, which is important because of its topics, which is going to be tackled. Palestine, and also the detainees and the challenges between opportunities, academia, media, and the civil society. In addition to the next topic, which is very old, very new, which is stable on the Palestinian cause. The moment we talk about international law, Palestine in the United Nations. This is going to be talked about from a different perspective today. And we are going to be in front of very important legal reports, which are going to be discussed by the most important prominent experts who have direct expertise, first-hand expertise in international law, especially in regard to Palestine, the special rapporteurs of the UN on the Palestinian soil, John Dogar and Professor Richard Falk, as well as the current special rapporteur in the Palestinian land, Dr. Michael Link. With all my confidence, I can say that this conference is going to be different. It has something to differentiate it because of the topics which represent the academic and scholastic or scholar principles is going to be discussed. This conference is in parallel with the International Solidarity Day with the Palestinian people, 29th November. This is the same day where the decision to divide Palestine had been issued by the General Assembly in 1949. We are still living under the consequences, the division of the Palestinian land, having the Palestinians in diaspora who are refugees today, who are banned from practicing their own right in self-determination, the same way other nations have. Since then till today, the Palestinian people are struggling to reach their legitimate rights in accordance with the international law and legitimacy, which have always stressed that the Palestinian cause is not a humanitarian cause which can be solved through humanitarian aid, but a legal issue which cannot be solved regardless of recognizing the rights of the Palestinian rights, which are inalienable, the self-determination, the independence, sovereignty, and the right of Palestinians to go back to their homeland, to their properties. Everyone knows that searching in the Palestinian cause from the perspective of the international law would lead us, of course, to ask a number of questions, which I hope that we will be able to answer in this conference, amongst of which, how can we put the Palestinian cause in its natural context, the legal context, which will necessitate that the international community and the UN to be held responsible according to the international law, and not to deal with this cause as a symbolic way and to be just in solidarity. The UN's duty is not to be in solidarity with the rights as much as their work shall be to realize those rights on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not be long in analyzing, in diagnosing the legal issue. This is the role of my colleagues in the conference sessions. I have full confidence that they will be diagnosing, analyzing, and will give recommendations which are going to be very important, which we will be working with the partners, Law for Palestine, the Independent Commission for Human Rights, to follow up on. We will be also follow up on the recommendations so that we have this conference as the first stepping stone in regard to accumulating of our work. At the end, I would like to thank whomever had participated in making this conference a success. The preparation committees, administration, and technical teams. I would like to thank you again, speakers and participants, and I hope that you are going to be successful. I have all trust that we will be able to reach the recommendations which will be fruitful. Thank you, everyone, for those important
شكرا لك يا
participations.
حبيبتي
Thank you very
وشكرا
much, Dr.
لكل
Yaser Amouri. And now we would
الذين
listen to our
تفضلوا
partners
ورفعوا صوتا كبيرا من أجل العدالة
who have helped
الفلسطينية
so much in
والقضاء
regard for
العادل
the issue of
وكلمات
law for
دكتور
Palestine, the
عمار
Independent
دويك
Commission,
وكلمات
the
دكتور عمار دويك رئيس
Dr. Ammar
الجمعية
Dwaik, the
العربية
head of the
للبحوث
commission
والتنمية
and the
والمنظمة
professor of politics.
تحياتي لكم
I would
جميعا
like to welcome you
وأرحب
all wherever you are. Good morning or good
بالسيد
evening,
رئيس
everyone. I'd like to thank the
الهيئة
participants.
الكبيرة
I would like to greet as
للإعلام
well my
والصحافة
colleagues and Dr.
الأستاذ
Mutaz,
أستاذ
Ihsan,
روان أستاذ
Ms.
ياسر
Rawan, Mr.
تحياتي
Yaser,
لكم
everyone.
اسمحوا لي باسم
Allow
الجمعية
me, on
العربية
behalf of the Independent
للإنسان
Commission on Human Rights, to thank
هناك
the
حكومة
Law for
فلسطين
Palestine organization for organizing such a conference.
وحكومة
And Law for Palestine, this is a new organization nonetheless, could through this very few months prove themselves to be a pioneering organization in regard to spreading the awareness about the legal issues and how to benefit those in the Palestinian cause. I would like to thank our partner in patroning of this conference, Birzeit University, who have been always very important partners for us. Organizing this meeting is coinciding with the Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, which has been approved in 1977 by the UN General Assembly, and this is the same day of the day of the division of Palestine's decision 181 after over 70 years after this or 74 years after the division. Palestinians, the cause of Palestine needs today what is even more than just to be in solidarity. Internationally, what Palestinians need today is protection, intervention from the international community to protect the Palestinians from the crimes which are committed by the occupation every day in an institutionalized manner, and to interfere as well to end this occupation, which is uh, dependent upon the apartheid system to stay and to prolong their lifespan. Every day passes without realizing the decisions of the international communities. The UN means more suffering for the Palestinians and giving time for the occupation to commit more crimes on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, participating in this conference, the right of the Palestinians in self-determination and sovereignty over their soil, according to since 1967, this is something clear. It's fundamentally clear in the international law. The non-legitimacy of the procedures of annexation of land and crimes against humanity and the human rights abuses are all documented. And lately, the apartheid term is a term which has been common to describe the policies and practices of Israelis against Palestinians and is widely spread amongst the experts in this field. This did not come from the vacuum. It was the accumulation of all the legal struggle which have been done by the Palestinian supporters and the Palestinians as well. More important than this came as a result of the adherence of the Palestinians on their ground to their rights. But those fundamental rights, unalienable rights, according to the international community, are faced with the paralysis it has against implementation of the resolutions. This is what Mr. Michael Link had showed in his report in 2017 when he said that the Palestinian cause is the dark spot today in the face of the international law, which had let them Palestinians down. Nonetheless, as lawyers, as Palestinians who are targeted as people, as a nation, still believe in the humanitarian side of the international law, especially the human rights law and international law, and we believe that all of those are frameworks which we need to invest in by as the Palestinian movement and as international movement for which called for the Palestinian liberation. The international law could not end the occupation. However, it was practical and has so many practical results. The situation would have been worse if it wasn't in place, and it provides a kind of limited protection to Palestinians. And those different decisions stress the identity of Palestine and their right to self-determination, which is a long-term guarantee for Palestinians that what the Israelis are doing on the ground using the weakness of the Arabs and the Palestinians will not create rights for them. The international law with its mechanisms are not going to be an alternative for the struggle on the ground. The international law legitimizes for anyone who is under occupation, under injustice, of this apartheid system to seek to be liberated through legitimate resistance, as long as those resistances are committed to the international law. So to win on this arena, this is going to be but through points, not through the fatal strike. That's why we need to accumulate more and more points. This conference and the international law and the experts in this law will lead to enriching where the work on the ground and the international framework through which we can end the occupation. I hope that everyone is going to be successful, and we are look forward with our colleagues in Birzeit to achieve the results and the international organizations to follow on the recommendations. Thank you very much.
شكرا جزيلا لك
Thank you,
دكتورة
Dr. Ammar Dwaik. And now we move to the end of this opening session. Rawan Husseini, the member of the Board of Trustees and the experts of law, one of the experts of law for Palestine. I would like to welcome you, Ms. Rawan. The floor is yours.
شكرا منى صباح
Thank you,
الخير
Muna. Good morning, everyone, all by their title and their name, in this important gathering of lawyers and experts, which this is the first conference of law for Palestine, and this had been created just to be the gathering for you, the gathering for whomever is interested in the international law and Palestine from all around the world. Those who believe that standing with Palestine cannot be done but just because you are Palestinian, because you are an Arab, but because this is the daily test of the conscience of the world. Yes, this is a conference to celebrate the first season of the law for Palestine, the biggest network of specialized experts in international law and Palestine. In very small time, we have over 1,000 members, lawyers, experts, specialists, researchers, people who are interested in international law and Palestine from all around the world, the Arabs and foreigners. Why in this conference we want to do that? We want to do that because we want to network, to unify the efforts in regard to Palestine, so that we can achieve the solving of this very long conflict, and to achieve justice for Palestinians through accumulating the expertise and the effort, so that we can unite our efforts and we build upon each other. As well, we want to bridge the gaps and to develop our expertise in regard to the international law in Palestine, so that we can redirect the campus in a united manner towards an united orchestrated work. During one year, we had 10 at workshops done, and we have summarized those workshops. We have summaries of the outcomes and the material, and we have worked in this in a professional manner, and we will give you this as a news. Very recently, very soon, we will have a book published which has those and the recommendations of the conference, and it's going to be available online for you. As well, we had conducted 3 distant training in Arabic and in English, and we had 60 training hours for each, and we had 100 trainees who had attended issues about the ICC and Palestine, how to write legal research in the international specialized magazines, and the issue of refugees. This exceptional work, which has been done over the last year, have been established with full volunteering efforts. This is the miracle. Everything was through volunteering. This is because we believe that this is a just cause and a fixed code. This is the only cause around the world which you cannot come with practical solutions for the people of Palestine without understanding what is changing, and not to look at the stable situation. People are using this stability, which is the hegemony of the occupation. We believe in the support and the expertise of this network of law for Palestine, who come from all around the world, that they will be together, unite the efforts to win this legal battle. We will continue to have the legal meetings, and we are going to launch our next season soon. The international law can be used in the hands of the strong countries to control the other countries. We can use it as in a strategic manner to for the progressive causes, amongst of which the most important is the liberation of Palestinians. I come back to the memory, to the first meeting, which was done with very little human resources and financial resources. We had dreams at that time. We would not think that this would happen, that we would have this number today and this amount of experts. I would like to thank all the partners who believe in the international law, countries, the institutions, the people. I would like to congratulate you for this effort, and I will call the school, the university students who are with us here to be part of our work and activities in the future. I'd like to thank you, and I hope that this day is going to be very useful for you with those experts specialized in the international law. Thank you very much, Rawan al-Husseini, for this speech. Before we move to the first session, allow me to say that you can direct the questions to the speaker in the speakers through pressuring Q&I at the end of the bottom of the screen. I would like to welcome you again, and of course,